It is. I hate to sort of falsely make the COVID situation sound better than what it is, but it does present an opportunity. A crisis like this does present an opportunity, a once-in-a-life opportunity to meaningfully engage, not just with government, but the point that you said, there's all the different segments of the industry, all the different parties. We've got more in common than we haven't got in common with each other. The problem is that in some instances, there's been our divide and conquer type thinking about things, and also a little bit like the big solutions. It's everything's got to be a big solution. Everything's got to be a big piece of legislation. And to my way of thinking, it's the need for the industry to work together to come up with solutions, and then to go to government on a continuous basis and just fix it bit by incrementally, bit by bit by bit. And the other thing about incremental change is it can be absorbed much better rather than sort of a big bang change. And we've had this debate around security of payment and trusts and everything like that. It's project bank accounts. That was just like got a problem and we're going to fix it by this massive disruption to the industry. Yep. Without, in my view, properly examining all the other existing legislative options which are on the table, which to my way of thinking hadn't been properly exhausted. Now, every government does it. You just keep on piling like barnacles on a ship. You just keep on piling legislation on top of legislation on top of legislation without ever fully exhausting the previous legislation opportunities.
Yeah, that's right, and there's a few points to pick up on there. One is coming back to that sledgehammer to crack a nut for where you've got a specific problem associated with a small sector of industry, and yet you bring in legislation that tries to fix that, but it applies to the whole of the industry and adds a whole level of administration and cost into the process. But the other thing is that I think legislation is going to be a last resort. I think that if we fix the sustainability issue, it's all a sustainability issue at the end of the day. Everyone's fighting to stay alive because we don't have a setup where contractors are appropriately reimbursed for the work that they do. If everyone's making a reasonable amount of money, there won't be the problem, half the problems that we've got as an industry. So, and they're also, the other point you raised about adding the barnacles to the ship, I think one of the good things that's happened over the last few months is that government, through COVID, to try to expedite progress and get people employed, has been looking at those barnacles and saying, well, which ones can we remove? And from a process point of view, looking at the planning process and saying, well, do we really need that step in the process? And actually no, we don't. Why did we have that again? Oh, I can't remember. Oh, okay, we'll get rid of that. But what really struck me out of that is, well, why does it take a crisis for us to have that conversation? Shouldn't there be a government department that is purely focused on undertaking periodic reviews of old legislation and going through what is essentially, putting my lean hat on here, a value stream mapping process, where we just map out the process and go, which one of those bits of the process actually adds value and is worthwhile here? And if it doesn't add value, get rid of it.
Yeah,